The title is Sleepyhead Princess. 1. If someone cries easily, they are called a crybaby, 울보. If they eat easily, they can be called a glutton, 먹보. If someone sleeps a lot or sleeps in late, it would be appropriate to call them a sleepyhead, 잠보. As I was passing by a girls' middle school and high school founded by a missionary, I saw the phrase Sleepyhead Princess, Jumbo, in an advertisement on the glass window of a stationery store. That is the origin of Jumbo. I am writing the following text because I wondered if the person K I heard about was that person. K slept a lot. Since she was physically weak and not of a healthy constitution, it seems she needed a lot of sleep for her body to recover and function. Meanwhile, even when her mother told her to sleep well, there were times when she would turn on a light under her blanket and read a book. Ordinary students barely managed to study roughly and frantically only the day before the exam, or there are some ignorant students who study all night while taking sleeping repelling drugs for several days. Kay has an excellent memory and a clear mind, perhaps because she retained all the material from lectures and books that would appear on the exams in her head. She studied with all A grades and received scholarships throughout college. He never cut back on sleep just because this exam season. She sleeps enough. I suspect that Kay is indeed a Princess Jumbo from the legend. This seems to stem from her love for her mother, family, and country, as well as her faith, sincerity, and clear mind. There is also a theory that she is 잠다르크, Jumbo. 2. When Jesus came 2,000 years ago, if the disciples and others had dissuaded him for various reasons, such as 1. You possess tremendous supernatural powers, so defeat Rome and become king. 2. We will do well in the future, so there is no need for you to die on the cross. Or 3. The Pharisees, scribes, ignorant Israelites, and all human beings are wicked people tainted by sin and deserving of death. Why would you die for such people? Would it not have been Jesus if he had simply said, yes, that's right? That's right, I will do so. Jesus silently walked the path of Jesus. 3. In the early 1400s, during a war between England and the national crisis, Jeanne d'Arc appeared in France. 1. A young maiden, what is she? Does she possess unyielding martial prowess? 3. Is she of noble birth, or does she have the qualifications or duty to step forward for the country? What is she? No, she simply answered God's call and took up the sword. When France was in crisis due to war, she served as the commander of the Valois dynasty's expeditionary force for about a year and a month. From April 1429 to May 1430, and was subsequently burned at the stake, dying at the tender age of 19. Like Stephen in the book of Acts, he thoroughly responded to God's calling and she thoroughly responded to God's calling and silently gave her all, going to be reduced to a handful of ashes. This person was the commoner Jeanne d'Arc. For at a time when Korea is facing a crisis due to various wrongdoings continuously occurring in recent elections, it is said that a real Korean Jeanne d'Arc, not just a rumor, but a one known as Jeanne d'Arc, has appeared. There was a woman who appeared to be in her 20s who stood her ground at the vote counting station at Jamsil Sports Complex, handball arena inside the main stadium in Songpa-gu, Seoul, which the election commission had rented was managing with the sole intention of guarding the place where there might be false evidence. Despite the reasons given, such as needing to retrieve sports equipment or agreeing to enter through an agreement between the ruling and opposition parties, the woman continued to block various attempts to enter, believing that she had to protect the evidence. Amidst the chaotic array of stories, such as reports that there was a welder inside the building or a single maintenance worker who remained there for over 10 days, will this serve as a significant turning point to transform the chaotic election management system, including counting votes for all the candidates during data entry, hiring family members as staff, voters being unable to vote due to a shortage of ballots, and the past practice of managing ballots using baskets into an accurate and transparent system? Will Korea demonstrate the maturity of an advanced nation by holding re-elections when there are serious flaws in an election, as seen in the cases of historic advanced European nations like Austria 2016 and Germany 2021? Will Korea be able to demonstrate to the world that it is a truly advanced nation, a powerhouse in political and economic World Cups capable of competing shoulder to shoulder with Germany, Austria, and others, and even winning a gold medal? By showcasing both its advanced economy and democratic politics, in that case, that woman must indeed be the Korean Jeanne d'Arc. She is also known as Old Dark, Olympic Park Jeanne d'Arc. If a statue of her is erected there, that place will become one of the major tourist attractions for global citizens visiting Seoul in the future. 5. In times of crisis, famous and unknown figures continue to emerge in Korea. Even during the Imjin War, 1592, monks who had been quietly practicing Buddhism in mountain temples took up spears and swords to fight against the Japanese forces in place of the incompetent King Seonjo and the government troops to save the nation and its people, and forced to kill countless enemy human lives. 을지문덕, 강감찬, Venerable Monk 사명, Buddhist Monk Soldiers, 이순신, 각재우, 논계, 유관순, 잠다르크. Finally, Acts 7:56 to 60 said, Behold, I see the heavens opened, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of God. Then they cried out with a loud voice, and stopped their ears, and ran upon him with one accord, and cast him out of the city. And they stoned him, Stephen calling upon God and saying, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. In Japanese. In Chinese. Thank you.